Sorry, do you want to say that again for the camera? What about that phone?
It's a piece of shit.
Ooh. Hi, I'm John. I wrote The Diary of Valerie Thompson. So the way that this movie came to be was that I had posted in a Facebook group, I think a year and a half ago, maybe it's 2 years ago, saying that I make movies and, you know, if there are any actors that wanted to collaborate, I'd be happy to meet new people. And an actress reached out to me saying that she'd like to work with me, and I asked her for a list of types of characters she wanted to play, different scenarios she would want to act out, genres that she liked, and she sent me a list of stuff. And I wrote this movie specifically catered for her to, you know, show off her talents and, you know, the kind of characters she wanted to play. And then she never responded to my email about that. But I had the script and I really liked it. I framed it with the Hero's Journey template. I ended up joining a Saturday film club in McMinnville, Oregon. They shoot one movie a year. Last year they shot a movie called Very Black and the Bad Trip. And all I did for that one was put out the casting call and manage the emails and put the, compiled all the video submissions for the directorial team to watch and review and make their choices. And this year, they decided to pick a movie that I wrote for the movie they wanted to make this year, and they picked Valerie Thompson. And there was another new member whose name is Alex. Thor just found the food I threw for you on the floor so you wouldn't bark while I was walking him. There was another new member whose name is Alex, who is a retired gentleman that was interested now that he had more time to work on some movie stuff. So we were the two new kids on the block that had not been on set for another Saturday Film Club production. A while ago I shot Just Another Night, and there were some people that auditioned for it that I didn't get to work with, but I knew I wanted to. Those being Rebecca Summer and Jessica O'Connor. They were great, they just weren't what I was looking for that particular character. First of all, I put out the casting call, and I reached out to Rebecca and Jessica and asked them to audition. Madeline, who was in Just Another Night, had also auditioned, and I wanted her to be in it, so I ended up writing in a role for her at the beginning, and I think it actually made the whole project work out for the better, because a lot of her dialogue belonged to Rebecca's character, but it didn't really fit with what we were doing thematically for the character.
When are you gonna stop hoarding dead people's stuff?
Shouldn't you be home bothering your own mom?
Damn, Bridget, your mom's a savage.
We had so many people try out for the Henry character. I was surprised we got so many submit for that part. Stephen was just the best choice for that one there.
How could I forget Valerie? I used to have a thing for her, you know.
And I ended up picking Harley for the Wiley character. There were some people that auditioned that I didn't pick, but I ended up giving them a part in something else that I shot that summer as well.
Gene. Gene.
It came from the sky.
What is it? Gene.
Might be military. You better call the sheriff.
Wes! I told you to stay put. Could you listen to me for once in your damn life?
It turned out that the Valerie movie and the other movie I shot were going to be back-to-back as far as productions go. When we had our weekly meeting planning out how we were going to do the project, I sort of took initiative to be like, okay, so we want this to be submitted for the McMinnville Film Festival. That's in like November or something. So do we want to like pre-production in June, shoot in July, pickups in August, edit in September or something? And that seemed to be the plan, and since it was my movie and they were letting me pick what production role I wanted to do, I wanted to be the DP because I wanted to make sure that it looked good, looked the way I wanted it to be. There seemed to be some miscommunication because somebody was supposed to send out an email looking for somebody to direct, and that email never went out. So I had all the video submissions from the casting call put together and no director. I didn't want to make the cast wait, so after not hearing about that, I said I would be the director. So the director, the DP, we got the cast. We had a few other production roles figured out. Alex was going to host the interior scenes at his house, and then for the exterior scenes, we were going to film everything in Tigard, which is where I'm at. I knew that we were going to be filming it in July, and I knew the props that we needed. I was going to be the DP, so I was going to have to do the storyboard, write the shot list, etc. And I had the equipment to do it, so, you know, I ended up taking more of a producer role than I thought I was going to be, which involved me making sure everything got done. And I found out almost everybody in the club either just wasn't attending the meetings or wasn't available or didn't want to participate this time around, so it was going to be a small crew, which is fine. As we were chugging along, I was able to meet with somebody at the Gallery Theater in McMinnville to get the costume pieces for Valerie, who is a character from the 1950s that appears as like almost like an imaginary friend in a way. Basically, you know, Bridget, 17, she finds his diary from an estate sale that her mom had gotten, realizes that she relates to this girl, is able to get the costumes from the rest of the cast. I sent them, you know, like kind of a Pinterest board kind of Google Docs file about references for their wardrobe. Everyone sent me their options. You know, I got that taken out of the way. I was going to need to pay everybody because we paid the cast last year $35 a day each. And I said, you know what, I'll front it for now until we figure that out. So that came out to about $270, I think, between the 2 days and, you know, the 6 castmates that we had. I needed to feed them as well. I made a pasta salad. I made this like fancy cheesy cornbread kind of thing. I packed walnuts, lots of water. I got pears for Steven, who played Henry, because he had some dietary restrictions. So I need to do the diary, which I'm going to do right now. So there's the old withered diary that Bridget finds, and then there's the like fresher one that Valerie's writing in as we're seeing the past happen in front of her. So I had already scripted some diary entries, but I also wrote in a whole bunch of ones. So there's a lot of stuff here that, just in case we ever flip to it, we had other things to reference. And I tried to do drawings and everything. I did cursive, handwriting. And what I did to like try to age it was I took a cup of coffee and a paintbrush, and I just would paint over the pages one at a time. And then I'd wait for them to dry, and then I would paint over the next ones. And this is after I'd written all the entries. And I did that once in the past where I filled out a whole journal of diary entries for another movie that they had filmed the whole thing, and then the producer held the footage ransom because of a falling out he had with the director. And then they recast my part without telling me. So I spent months doing a diary for nothing. So I already knew how to do it pretty fast for this one. We decided that Bridget's room should look very young because she's maybe a little bit resistant or afraid of change. So she like plays it safe. So I tried to pick more of like a pastel color palette. I had made this quilt for her room, and it was going to be on her bed, but Alex had a very nice sunflower comforter thing that we were able to use. But I had cut out all these pink, blue, purple, and green sort of Easter color fabric patches into squares, and I stitched them against a gray liner, and I made this whole quilt. You only see it for a second. The big ticket item that we had for the project was my late Aunt Janet used to have these old dolls that I think she had purchased them via some Amish venue or another in Pennsylvania, but I might be mistaken. She might have actually already had them when she had lived in New York. And my mom texted me the other day, well, I guess it was a few months ago now, that she still had all these dolls that my Aunt Janet had. That's one of my most vivid memories, aside from her Dalmatian Nick. Anytime that, you know, my brother and I would go, you know, hang out with my aunt over a weekend or visit during the summer or like have a sleepover, would be that she had this wood benches full of these old dolls here. And I actually got some for use in the Valerie project. So just to show you some of these really cool old ones that we have. Actually the fabric on, like for the shoes, is painted onto the fabric itself, and like I think they put a primer on the face when they painted it on, and all this stuff is hand-stitched textiles. So I have this nice rabbit as well. The whiskers are quite worn, and I can't tell if this is like horsehair or is like hay or what they did for it. This very fancy one with a watering can and a birdhouse fastened to the side. I don't know if she's supposed to be a scarecrow or what. Or no, she probably an angel, because it looks like she's got plaid wings on the back. Probably my favorite one is this cow, though, that's holding a little bird. think the clothes look really nice. And there's a tag on it still that says it was $72.98 from Village Curtains. And it's got like little animals on the tag itself, so I'm sure they sold a lot of stuff. The dogs are very interested in these toys right now. Buddies, they are not toys for you to chew on. They're toys for me to remember my dead aunt by. So I handmade all those props, I made all the food, I charged my batteries, had all my equipment set aside. I found all the locations in Tigard for exterior scenes, including I needed to find a library scene, and I talked to the Tualatin Public Library, and they allowed us to film because it was going to take next to no time to do, and the only equipment I needed to use was my tripod with my camera on it, and I brought a reflector too, but we ended up not needing it, so we were very out of the way of everybody else and not disturbing anything. Hello. Hello. You give Thor a little extra space, okay? So, Alex was going to do the sound for the Sunday part of our weekend shoot, and somebody else was going to do it for Saturday, doing the exteriors with me, because it's exteriors on Saturday, interiors on Sunday. My sound person for Saturday texted me the night before because they were having car troubles and they were only going to be able to come if somebody gave them a ride from McMinnville, and my AD texted saying that they weren't going to be able to come tomorrow because they had to work. And then, so it was very simple. I was able to do it all by myself. And then Sunday, I got a text the morning of that my AD isn't feeling well, so I am having to do it on my own. But it's fine. We were ahead of schedule the entire day. Both days, actually, and we got out early both days. It took 9 days to hear back from the person that was supposed to edit, so at that point it had already started, and I said, I'll just take care of it. So I actually finished. And considering that we filmed this the last weekend of July, and it is like the second or third week of August now, I think that's a pretty good time. And again, same fun energy. Feel free to ad-lib a little bit about, how hot Henry is, etc. Or Wiley. Same thing. Wiley, do you want to go to homecoming dance together?
I also realized I forgot to say.
Did I forget to say something?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, we're just gonna cut on this one.
Like, do you want me to have
If you want to pop out and stand with me back here, I think the door was closed on that wide, so just playing it safe here.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Glad we got it now. Didn't find out later when you're already on the East Coast.
Oh my god.
She's moving. We squeaked her in the last second here. Let's just
rolling.
let's just cut here. We'll do a new take.
Come here to get roasted today.
I can do it.
Dear diary.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I know.
Sorry.
I know it was a loud gurgle. Right. Rolling camera. MOS. This is Diary of Valerie Thompson. Jesus. Take scene 2F. Take 1. Thank God it's no audio because my stomach was so loud right then. Dear Henry, I've got a big fat crush on you. This is John saying stuff as a placeholder just to anticipate how long it'll take Jessica to read the letter. I'm talking about how much I love you. Ooh, Henry, I want to kiss you. Yeah. And hopefully this will be enough time. Dear Henry, I think you're so cute. From this angle, she really kind of looks like that episode of Pokemon when, there's the maiden that Ghastly is pretending to be, this old maiden from that one old wives' tale about the guy who goes to war. Maybe that's based on something in real life. I don't know. I am ready and rolling camera. Go ahead and roll sound.
Biscuit. This guy, Henry, he must have lived here a long time. I don't know.
Henry, What's that?
Cut.
Did I have another line?
Mm.
Do you want to go see a movie?
I would. What's
It's alright. We're just gonna go ahead and.
I've actually been dying to see the new Harrison Ford movie.
Me too.
See you then.
Me too.
I'll see you then.
Okay.
Hey, Wiley?
Yeah?
What are you doing Friday?
Nothing? You?
Okay, back to one. Sorry, it's the kids. That here.
Shoes even match you.
We're rolling camera. Go ahead and roll sound. Never mind. Cut. That is how Valerie Thompson came to be. It was an arduous process, but I started early. I knew I could count on myself, and Alex and his wife Sharon were so great hosting, and Alex is really good with the boom, and you know, we knocked everything out of the way. The music really kicked my butt. It took me a long time. The way that I did the music was that Bridget would be represented musically by, she would be the piano part, and she'd be a melody. And Valerie was going to be a flute, and she'd be the harmony.
Henry Adams came into the room with those eyes that make my heart skip a beat. Nancy Cartwright handed me a handsome fern in a ceramic pot, which slipped.
At the beginning of the movie, when Bridget's going through the box, it's just the piano. It sounds kind of incomplete and a little bit spaced out. And then when she starts to read the diary and then sees Valerie writing in her diary, we hear Valerie's music, which is the flute, again kind of incomplete. And then as we move into the montage of them having a conversation and relating to one another throughout different areas in town, you hear both of their pieces together, and it makes sense when those two pieces are together, the melody and the harmony. And it sounds like a complete song. And then, you know, when Valerie's gone, because we come to learn that she passed away from a terrible accident. Going back to just Bridget's music is very, very, like, it just sounds lonely and incomplete. And she finds the letter to Henry, delivers it, finds out that it's Wiley's place. And Valerie is at peace, you know. She's not a ghost, but, you know, it's just the way Bridget imagines she would have been and what she would have liked to have seen done with her diary. That is the story of Valerie Thompson. I'm sticking to it, and until next time.